Hey folks, welcome to Planet Traffic. Today's episode is starting at the front of Paulding County High School in Dallas, Georgia. And today, Paulding County High School. And the reason why I'm here today is to start, back in 1978, a gentleman by the name of Raymond Traylor started his high school journey, graduating in 1982. And I'm going to let you know what Raymond Traylor did after 1982. Today, on Planet Traffic in Dallas, Georgia. Yeah, so from Paulding County High School, which, by the way, 57 years that building has been there. I wanted to definitely make a note of that. And being in close proximity to the cemetery where Raymond Traylor is actually buried. I figured let me stop at the Paulding County High School where that gentleman, again, started high school in 1978 at Paulding County and graduated in 1982. Raymond Traylor, best known, well, for me, it's going to be Big Bubba Rogers. Because that was the character in the world of professional wrestling. That was the character right there that I really went, wow. This guy is I want to say gargantuan, but that's kind of left for Gorilla Monsoon. Now we're here at the Dallas Memory Gardens to pay my respects at the grave of Raymond Traylor. Again, a.k.a. Big Bubba Rogers, and probably best known as the Big Boss Man in WWE, but WWF. But, yeah, so I did some light research and was kind of just amazed at the fact that I actually lived so close to where he was buried. And I kind of personally reflect back on, that time. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? He is, the Big Bubba Rogers character was my favorite Raymond Traylor character. And that's maybe it's age. I don't know. I love that character, man. And then realizing he was actually walking around 6'7", 330. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of he was working with Paul White, that Big Show, and I don't know if it was because of that reason that it was always like, well, how big is, I never really looked up, how big is Big Boss Man? And here, 6'7", 330. And leave it to the All-American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, to realize when he was jobbing in the Crockett promotion back in 1984, this was post, he had a job as a correctional officer at Cobb County in the Atlanta metro area. Oh, by the way, he was born in Marietta, Georgia. Inevitably lived in Dallas, Georgia. Oh, he had time to seek some shelter. Is Georgia's sun. It's baking today out here late July. But anyway, yeah, Dusty Rhodes kind of saw the level of the talent that a gentleman 6'7", 330 again had. And he immediately took him off of TV and kind of stored him for a few months before they repackaged him as Big Bubba Rogers, who was the, what they call a silent valet for Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express. And I just remember him being, I just remember that guy. I was like, oh God, this guy's going to be a major problem. A major problem for anyone. And then eventually, by 1986, Dusty was like, oh yeah, it's time to unleash this guy. So he did a series of like bunkhouse stampede matches. I think they kind of culminated in early '87 that Dusty did with Raymond. And from there, it was just a who's who, man. This guy, Raymond Traylor, really put in the work, basically looking like a 20-year career from basically 1984 to about 2004, 2003. And obviously his run in WWF, regardless of whether, I will admittedly, and I think I've done this on my channel already, was not a fan. I was watching NWA at that time, when Hulk was the champ, WWF, and Big Boss Man. But I remember how many times I had a video game where I was doing the sidewalk slam with Big Boss Man on it, over and over again. So I was well aware of his character, and the product itself wasn't really geared to me personally. And being that there was NWA and there was other alternatives, I kind of, in WCW, I was kind of in that's where I was at the time with pro wrestling. And when he came back to start battling, when he was with the Authority, to start battling with Stone Cold, I was back on board. Stone Cold really got me back into pro wrestling. Really did. You know, there was a whole stretch there in the 90s where I was like, I'm not feeling this. And then Stone Cold started, and it was like, forget it. You know, I got sucked right into it. But that being said, I am now Dallas Memory Garden, paying my respects to the one and only Raymond Traylor at his gravesite. So in some of my research that I did do, in regards to Big Boss Man, Raymond Traylor, that I really want to, note is the fact that when you dig around for stuff about Raymond, especially in like shoot interviews, which are so beyond freaking popular in pro wrestling circuits, YouTube, etc., 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 there's many people, there's a consensus out there of people that know that is one individual that is rarely spoken about, and it's understood, and it would be my vibe as well, because that he was a very well respected individual in that profession, where you would not, there weren't bad things said about him, period. As I stand over his grave, he's probably down there going, dude, let me come up there and sidewalk. You say something bad about me, a sidewalk slam you right now. But anyway, you see right now, Big Boss Man, look, with the quote from Abraham Lincoln, the figurines left there. Yeah, born May 2nd, 1963, passed September 22nd, 2004. There. I'll tell you what, in that entertainment industry of professional wrestling, it's just, if you're a fan like myself, I've been to multiple grave sites. I'm building them as I go along. This area has had very prolific professional wrestlers buried that I would personally want to visit. Raymond Traylor was one of them. The Iron Sheik is here. Crusher Blackwell. I will be doing a video soon of Rick Rude, and I will find more. I'm doing something very, maybe in the next 2 weeks, where Andre the Giant's ashes are spread. And all that being said, the level of entertainment I still watch, I get lost on YouTube. Really, I'll be getting lost on some Raymond Traylor stuff to reflect back on. The fact that they sacrificed so much in their life, and Raymond died of a heart attack in his home, And there's really not a whole lot of details other than that, but I just feel like it's just a shame, especially for an industry that's scripted. And scripted's a very gray word when it comes to professional wrestling, only because they do not script the level of pain and agony that these guys are going in, and women are going into. Oh God, how many nights a week? With the healthcare is probably terrible. And even if there was healthcare, like, you got to stay on TV. You got to stay on TV. You got to stay relevant to keep getting paid. And I think he was released from the WWE, WWF, whatever they're calling it, back in 2002. And my understanding is he actually owned some storage units, like you know, a facility. He also ran for a political position here that was unsuccessful, but that was in 2004. And then at some point later that year, he passed, 41 years old. I mean, he literally was born 3 years before me. And like, for a guy my age, that's just scary. It's totally freaking scary. But you know, again, just stop by today to pay my respects to his grave. I love seeing the people leave the action figures there. So I was kind of thinking from left to right, or more like okay, Raymond Traylor's grave is you know, a 2004 stone, where a lot of the ones on the left here have been put in at times like 2022, 2021, and then it kind of goes older as you go right, that the stones have been there. And obviously we have this up here, and I'm sure this is the origins, I would think, of the cemetery itself. Maybe its oldest stones. So it's a very, very interesting layout. It just, and again, cemeteries, it doesn't get any more peaceful in my mind. Some parks, but yeah. Anyway, the Raymond Traylor, aka Big Boss Man, is buried right here at the Dallas Memory Gardens, and this was established in 1963. Yeah, great day, pleasant tomorrow. I'll see you next episode.